Hey guys, welcome to another video, and today we're going to be talking about the score cancellation that has been going on with the ETS GRE at-home tests. Now this is also happening with the TOEFL at-home test, by the way, but mostly this has been seen with the GRE test where students have been devastated just because, and see on the screen right here, you can see that the score on this ETS account says that it is cancelled. Now what does this mean? Does this mean that you cheated on the test, or does this mean that ETS thinks you cheated on the test? We're going to uncover all of that in this video. Why is this happening? What can you do if this is happening with you? And really, we're going to understand the whole process. Before that, I would like to tell you, why are these scores getting cancelled? Now, there may be a couple of reasons for this. A couple of reasons that I can think of are as follows. Fraudulent activity, you tried to do some cheating on the test. Because of that, it happened. There's plagiarism. It may have happened because of plagiarism found on your essay that you may have written during the test. And you may have used some sort of an expert, some sort of a expert, which of course is illegal, by the way. You use an expert to try to get your score bumped up on the test, by the way, by essentially cheating on the test. You actually had an expert. Now this is actually happening a lot in the Telangana area. It's happening a lot in the southern Indian region for the most part, really. And how it happens is essentially that there would be an expert who would basically come into the room where you're taking the test at an angle basically where ETS cannot see him, right? And he would take pictures of the test. You would click next. He would take all the pictures, and then he would go out where he would meet the other experts, and then he would come back into the room, or he would basically in some way he would share the answers with you. Now of course, understand this, when you do something like that, the trend that you may follow in order to answer the questions would be very different in terms of a trend that you would follow if you were to actually solve these questions by yourself. If you were doing these by yourself, you would be spending about 2-3 minutes per question, sometimes 1.5 minutes, right? In the other case where I mentioned that you would be cheating, well, basically an expert will be there, and he would basically just click the photos of all of these questions. So you would be clicking next, and later on at the end of the test, of course, before the timer ends, before those 35 minutes or 30 minutes, depending on which section you're doing, he would come back and he would give you all the answers. Which again means that your timer would be very, very skewed. You would be clicking next, or what you would be doing is you would be just sitting on one question for the most part. You would essentially not be doing anything for the most part of the test, and in the end you would surprisingly have all the answers, which of course, like, even if you were the test creator, you would find it very, very easy to spot this, right? So there's not only that, they're monitoring your eye movements, they're monitoring if you're actually thinking, right? Or if you're just really looking at the screen and not doing anything, right? If you're actually using the calculator, all of these things they can monitor. That's ProctorU's job. ProctorU is essentially the software or the people who actually monitor the GRE test that ETS gives out. So that's really the point which is causing all of this GRE at home havoc, and people's scores are getting cancelled, right? And exactly when this happens is very unpredictable, because a lot of people have gotten these scores and 2 weeks later their scores were cancelled. A lot of people got these scores, they even went to their universities overseas. They used that score, they went to the university, and at that point of time their scores are cancelled. So it's happening all over the place. It doesn't matter. It can happen today, it can happen tomorrow, it can happen 2 months after you took the test, it can happen anytime. And while they may not notify your university in most cases, but I have heard of a few cases where they actually notified the university as well that, look, this test score was invalidated, so the student actually never really took the GRE. Now what happens when your score is cancelled? Per se, it could be a million reasons, right? But if it is cancelled, what happens then? As per the ETS terms, number one, of course, your fee is forfeited. You are not getting it back. In most cases, we have seen that they don't give it back. And secondly, they may not even let you take the test again very, very easily. In very few cases where they're really not sure about what's going on and they may have cancelled your score because there wasn't any concrete evidence, they would basically let you take the test again. But in general, your fee is forfeited and you're not seeing that money again, that's for sure. Secondly, your scores are put on hold. What does that mean? What does it mean when your scores are on hold? Of course, like in the screenshot, your scores will say cancelled. They won't really show the original report to you. And at the same point of time, your scores cannot be reported to any institution, any university, any college that you want to send your scores to. Not gonna happen. Your scores are now in a cancelled state. That means you cannot use them to send them to the universities, okay? So how do you avoid the cancellation of scores? That's what we are going to be talking about next. Number one is to genuinely follow the rules religiously. I mean, follow the rules. Do not try to cheat on the test, because again, that is the major reason why the scores are being cancelled. If you want to avoid that, it's pretty simple. Do not cheat on the test. Do not give ProctorU a reason to cancel your scores. And finally, I would highly recommend, I know COVID-19 has just gone by, and I know in future there may be cases rising and you may not actually attend this at the test center, but as of now the situation is very stable. I highly recommend, if you have a test center nearby, or if you have access to a test center, no matter whether it's nearby or even 50 kilometers from your area, you should try to go to the center. It is highly recommended. Trust me, when you take the ETS TOEFL test, it is very noisy. It's almost like a fish market. But the GRE scores, the GRE test, they're very professional in that. They administer it very well. You would not hear people speaking, or you would not hear people disturbing each other. So that's taken very seriously, and you will actually see there's a major difference in that. So you would genuinely not face any problems at the test center. But of course, if your health does not allow it, or for some reason you're not able to make it to the test center, the GRE at home option is currently still live and you can take it. But make sure you're not doing anything illegal during the test. Trust me, it can actually come back to haunt you, not just till the admissions happen, even after that. And you'd actually be, with a knife hanging over your head. And you're really wondering, every single day you wake up, you're not really sure if you would be able to attend the college, or, tomorrow morning if you would be here. Because it's just a life of unpredictability from there. First off, you're spending, I don't know, lakhs and lakhs of rupees, which, thousands of dollars you're paying to these experts, so-called experts, which are taking your money when they know that this is illegal, right? And after that, when they actually do get discovered, right, you cannot really tell ETS that you cheated, or you cannot really claim that money back from the person who actually helped you on the test, because of course you already knew what you were doing, so you already signed that agreement, you were okay with that in the first place. Instead, why not study for 2 months? I built the exact schedule for you guys. Within 2 months you can actually ace the GRE. Trust me guys, it is not that hard. And I personally scored a 329, and I'm pretty sure if you follow the schedule, and if I can do it, I was actually very bad at English back then, I think that you can actually go ahead and score even better. Just religiously put in the time, put in the work, and take the test in the right manner. And finally, what do you do if your test scores are actually cancelled, invalidated, or nullified by the ETS? Well, in that case, what you have to do, my recommendation, go through their website, and you will find the screenshot over there. You need to connect with ETS, okay? You will find these are the official mechanisms to connect with them. I would say try to connect with them as quickly as possible. They're not picking up the phone, call repeatedly. They're not answering emails, send emails repeatedly. But try to get in touch whichever method possible. If you don't really know how to call international numbers, you can use Skype to phone. That means you can buy a subscription of Skype, and you can actually enjoy calling US numbers for, about a stipulated amount of minutes. Like, for instance, if you are buying the Skype plan for India, you would get 800 minutes, I know. So similarly, there's Skype plans for US as well, and you can call any US number basically, and you can continue to call it again and again if you want, right? So go ahead, do that. It's not a very costly affair. You can get that, and you can continue and enjoy calling any number, but basically go ahead and connect with them. Secondly, please understand, there will be false positives and there will be true positives. False positives are the ones where basically they estimated that you cheated on the test, but it was not actually true. You may not have cheated at all, and this may be happening, and this may feel a lot unfair to you guys. But in that case also, you have to stay strong, you have to connect with ETS, and you have to try to see if you can try to get another attempt at the GRE. Most cases, they would not actually validate your score after invalidating it, so asking for that would generally not be a good, you can do it, but it won't really result in something, right? But you can actually try to make sure that your fees does not go to a waste, and you can get another attempt at it if you can prove your case, right? And secondly, true positives are the people who actually cheated on the test. Well, I actually made a video on this before, guys. I hope that you saw it, but if you're cheating on the test, I'm not with you in that case. We don't really sync together. So if you cheated, you have to face the consequences. So that's how it works. Hopefully you didn't do that. I'm really hoping that you guys watching this, you are people who have actually prepared for the test and put in the hours, because it's a lot of hard work, and just paying someone and making sure that all of that hard work is something you don't have to do. I mean, how far can it take you? You have to actually attend university, and if you can't even take a simple GRE test, right? How can you deal with the university? That's just my thinking, okay? That's just my thought process. So anyway, if you guys need any further help, you can reach out to me on my Instagram. I will be having an Instagram live in a couple of days. You can follow me over there, where I'll be answering all of your questions. It's gonna happen sometime in the next 2 weeks only, and I'm gonna be letting you know on my Instagram itself. So make sure you're following me over there, and subscribe to this channel for more such videos and more such content. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye and take care for now, and all the best for whatever is going on over here. Bye.